Slightly hot and muggy Dinosaur Adventure Land. I've been giving tours all morning. We're going to be taking session number 2 about the flat earth. This is one of the dumbest theories ever. Satan is using this just to make Christians look stupid, okay? And it's working. It's sadly, many times, Christians who are fallen for this. They think they're defending the Bible. No, you're not. You're making a fool of yourself. It's not scientific. It's not biblical. So don't claim that it is. Okay. Yeah, but what about Bible says God sits on the circle of the earth? Yeah. It says earth has 4 corners too. What do you do with that one? You going to cover all that, brother? Good. Take it away. Tell them about this is Boot Camp 2024 in Lenox, Alabama, Dinosaur Adventure Land at drdino.com. Phone number, if you want to get hold of us, 855-BIG-DINO. Thank you, brother. That was awesome this morning. Here you go.
It sure is hot today. Well, again, my name is Jason, and I just want to tell you right up front, I do believe the Bible. I do not accept all information presented in science textbooks as facts. And let's just go ahead and begin. I've been told by some that the Bible is a flat earth book. It is not. It is neither a round earth book or a square earth book. It's a book of instructions and guidelines to help you and help us properly live and love the King and our neighbors. I do believe the scriptures are inspired by the Creator. I believe that His word is truth. I believe that they are historically and scientifically accurate, but imperfect people can come to wrong conclusions based on His word. My friend who kept calling me up gave me this video to watch, and we're going to watch that in a second. And we'll go ahead and start that. Well, actually, just before we start that, so he asked me too. He said, "Do you not take the Bible literally?" My response is, go ahead and put that other picture up. My response was, the literal parts are little, but not every phrase was written or spoken to be literal. How a person reads and understands can depend on what he's reading, even when it comes to different scriptures. For instance, if someone is reading a law book or instructions from the Creator, they'll likely not encounter many idioms or hidden meanings in what they read. If you read a law that used the phrase kick the bucket, it would likely be referring to someone literally kicking a bucket. If you read that phrase in a newspaper or someone's letters to a relative, it might refer to someone who passed away. In prophecy, Psalms, and in many writings that is not written to be instructions or describing an historical event, many terms may not literally line up. What if we use the same logic in reading other verses as many flat earthers use to say the earth is fixed on pillars? We could conclude that the Lord is physically riding on a fast cloud. That's Isaiah 19:1. That Satan is a physical dragon with a physical tail that will bring physical stars to the earth. That in Revelation 12:1, that physical sun, or that the physical sun can physically clothe a woman. Or in Joshua 7:5, when Israel lost a battle, their hearts melted. We would conclude that they literally melted. Or Isaiah 11:12, it basically states that the earth had 4 corners, and the Jews, or the tribe of Judah, will be gathered from there when the Messiah comes back. So, well, for one, I showed you a lot of their flat earth models, but they keep changing it all the time, depending on what they're actually saying. If they're saying the earth is a circle, they'll give you that. But if they're talking about corners, they'll give you a square. But in either case, if they're thinking that there's actually little corners, and they're going to use that literally, then that means the Jews would be scattered, and they're at the corners right now, past the ice wall. And then later on, when the Messiah comes back, they're going to be gathered from the 4 corners back here. Many flat earthers use scriptures like these as evidence that the earth is not orbiting the sun. 1 Chronicles 16:30. He has fixed the earth firm, immovable. In Psalm 93:1, thou hast fixed the earth, immovable and firm. Psalm 96:10, and he has fixed the earth firm, immovable. But they do not use the same logic when reading Psalm 15:5. He that putteth not out his hand, or not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. Psalm 16:8. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Is he saying that he is really not going to move from his spot, that his legs are implanted in the ground? Psalm 66:8-9. Oh, bless our God, ye people, and make the voice of his praise to be heard. Our soul in life, and suffereth not our feet to be moved, or basically allows our feet not to be moved. You know, I know they're not using the same literal logic in that reading that verse. Psalm 121:3. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Psalm 99:1. The Lord reigneth, let the people tremble. He that sitteth between the cherubims, let the earth be moved. So they often point out that the scriptures claim that the earth is on pillars. This is another example of flat earthers not understanding that some phrases should not be taken literally. In the pillar case, it most likely means strengthen or governing authorities. Other examples in where pillars are used in a figurative sense is Job 26:11. The pillars of heaven tremble and are amazed at his rebuke. And I can picture them thinking, okay, well, maybe there's pillars in heaven. And are they amazed at his rebuke? That's what the scriptures say. 1 Timothy 3:15. But in case I am delayed, I write so that you will know how one ought to conduct himself in the household of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and support of the truth. So here he's calling the church a pillar. Is the church a pillar? Yeah, strength, government, but it's not a literal pillar. Revelation 3:12. He who overcomes, I'll make him a pillar in my temple. Who wants to be a pillar? A literal pillar in his temple. I mean, I think it's talking about something else. I'm thinking it's talking about a government or strong in his temple. And he will not go out from it anymore. And I'll write on him the name of my God and the new Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from my God and my new name. Psalm 144:12. Let our sons in their youth be as grown-up plants. And again, I think that might not be literal plants. We're not trying to be literal grown-up plants. And our daughters as corner pillars, fashioned as for a palace. Jeremiah 1:18. Now behold, I have made you today as fortified city, and as a pillar of iron, and as walls of bronze against the whole land, to the kings of Judah, to his princes, to its priests, and to the people of the land. Ezekiel 26:11. With the hooves of his horses, he will trample all your streets. He will slay your people with a sword, and your strong pillars will come down to the ground. Now, I guess that you could say that that was actually strong pillars. But it also could mean government. Your government's going to come down to the ground. Galatians 2:9, and recognizing the grace that he had been given to me, James and Cephas and John, who has reputed to be pillars, gave to me and Barnabas the right hand of fellowship, so that we might go to the Gentiles and they to the circumcised. So are they actual pillars? No, I think it's figure of speech. Another figure of speech is in Job 19:20. My bone cleaveth to my skin and to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. Y'all have all heard skin of the teeth before, but do teeth really have skin? No, it's not literal. It's figurative. It's an idiom. Let's go ahead and go through some. We're not going to go through all these verses that this one video that was sent to me. We're not going to go through them all because, well, I just basically showed you that a lot of this stuff, like with corners. Now, okay, here's another thing. In Leviticus, about the corners. In Leviticus 19:27, the Father said, don't round the corners of your head, or neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Where are the corners on my head? Where are the corners on my face? Okay, if my head can have corners, figuratively at least, then can't the globe, or can't the globe have corners figuratively also? We would be looking funny if we all had square heads. So I'm going to skip over some, but let's go ahead and start the video here.
In this video, there's a minimum of 75 Bible verses with prophecies and Bible codes that prove a flat geostationary Earth. I've grouped most of these verses into groups of 3, so I'm going to be counting down from 25 to 1. It'll make sense to you in a minute. And I've saved the best 2 for last. So,
oh, goody. He saved the best 2 for last. Let's just go ahead and go over there. I mean, because that's the best 2. So go ahead and can you scroll it to 19:24? We'll see what he has to say.
Cold air colliding will cause a jet stream, but I think that's unlikely. So that brings us to...
Oh, mathematics. Oh, good. I like math. This is his best one, our best 2. Let's see what he got.
The number 1 reason, and that is mathematics. In Psalm 147 verse 5, it's referring to the Almighty. It says, his understanding is infinite. And if we get to Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heaven, singular, and the earth.
Okay, well, we'll see where he's going with this. Not really sure. I don't see math right there, but let's see.
What you're about to see is approximately 20 seconds of complicated stuff. Just
I'm game with that. I like this complicated math. Go ahead.
follow along as best you can here for 20 seconds, because this will knock your socks off. In Hebrew, the first sentence of the Bible
It's going to knock your socks off. I can't wait.
looks like this. If you take the number of Hebrew letters and times that by the product of the letters, and then divide that by the number of words times the product of the words, you get 3.1416. That's the value of pi to 4 decimal places.
Okay, well, that's interesting, but you can manipulate stuff and make things say a lot of things mathematically. But anyway, we'll go ahead and go.
Pi is the relationship of a circle's circumference to its diameter, so you measure the circumference of any circle all the way round and divide that by the diameter straight across, and you get...
Yeah, true. Yep.
And you get 3.14, the value of pi, an infinite string of numbers. Okay, that's the complicated stuff over. What the Bible is describing here is clearly a circle and not a sphere.
What? What? That right there, that's clearly because he saw the 3.14. Did he go? Again, I'm going to try to let my speech be always with grace, but pi is used it is used to calculate the circumference of the circle. You use it to calculate the area of a circle also. I wrote down the equations for you, just in case. I know a lot of people might not have taken this math in high school or before. There's the area of a circle, pi times r squared, circumference of the circle, 2 pi r, but also you have to use pi to calculate the volume and the area of a sphere. How can you say that this is proof that the earth is a circle? Why can't he? I'm not going to use it as proof that the earth is a sphere because, there's much more. Anyway, that was his best ones. But let's go ahead and maybe he says something else good.
And only a flat geostationary circular Earth fits that description. And if that failed to knock your socks off, then you've not been paying attention.
I guess I haven't been paying attention. Let's see what else he had before. Let's go ahead and go to 13:23, if you can, Joseph. And while he's going to that, I'll just hit on some of these others that he hit. Steel earth, I basically mentioned that in the beginning. Pillars, I did go through that. The firmament, that'll be an interesting topic to go through. We just don't have time to go through the firmament. Is there a firmament? Yeah, the scriptures say. The question is, what is the firmament? But it doesn't say that it is I see where they get it from the Hebrew. It's a very interesting topic. Maybe we'll go through that some other time. The sun moving, then he goes to Bible codes. He goes to height and depth. That the scriptures say that there's height and depth or length and width. There's length and width and height and depth and on a spherical plane too, or spherical earth too. Okay, ready? Yeah.
24. If it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Remember, this is the 75 Bible verses that prove the earth is flat. Does that look like a verse that even mentions the shape of the earth? No.
2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Same.
Ephesians 5, verse 6. Let no man deceive you with vain words. So, if you are deceived about the ball-shaped earth.
Okay, again. Let no man deceive you. I could use that, but I wouldn't. On the other way around, I could use that to support a spherical earth, but again, I'm not.
Thinking a sphere is the truth, then you've got no chance of ever being able to understand the Bible. You're self-barred from all knowledge.
This shows that this is religion here. This is not science. When he says stuff like you're barred from all knowledge, if you don't, all biblical knowledge, if you don't understand the shape of the earth, you're barred from all biblical knowledge. We'll go ahead and see what the Bible says in a minute on that.
If you take the view that the flat earth is a distraction, then what exactly is it distracting you from? What? Celebrity gossip? Or if you believe it doesn't matter if the earth is round or flat, then you're a self-confessed idiot, because it absolutely does matter if the earth is flat or round. You'll never be able to understand the Bible at all if you think the flat, round earth is a distraction or doesn't matter.
Oh, that just bites for us, I guess, because he says we'll never be able to understand the Bible at all if you don't understand that. Let's see what the Bible actually does say. You want to gain understanding? Let's look to the Bible to see how to gain understanding. Psalm 111:10. The fear of the Lord is gaining wisdom. that do his commandments. Understanding what shape the earth is in. 104. Through thy precepts I gain understanding. You gain understanding by, again, fear of the Lord. That's the beginning of knowledge, the beginning of wisdom. And then do what he says. He says, hey, I want you to, behave this way. I don't want you to steal. I don't want you to commit adultery. Do this. And that's how you gain understanding. The psalmist in Psalm 119, 97 through 100, he says, oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Thou through thy commandments have made me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for my testimonies, or for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. So basically he's saying here is, I have more understanding than all those PhD people, all those teachers and ancients, scholars that came before me. I have more understanding, not because I have more head knowledge, but I have more understanding because I do what the Father wants me to do. Okay, we'll continue. He has some, or we'll go to 1637. What's that? Oh, the time set. Or actually, go ahead and just go right before 1637, maybe 1620. Right where it says lies. There you go.
Ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. This is a future prophecy following a monstrous destruction of people who believed lies. But it could just as easily apply now, today. Here we are today showing evidence of the ends of the earth, telling people the earth is flat, and the generation who lived from the 1930s until now got lied to. The generation above us inherited lies, and those who stand for nothing will believe anything.
Yeah, again, this is about lies. I do know that I could use that with the sphere earth, but again, I wouldn't.
There's no end to the earth on a ball. That's because it's not a ball, it's flat.
Okay, let's see what he has.
Number 2, the four winds. The Bible is consistent all the way through, from Old to New Testament, that there's four winds. For example, Jeremiah 49 verse 36, four winds. Daniel 7 verse 2, four winds. Matthew 24 verse 31, four winds. Revelation 7 verse 1, four winds.
Okay, let's see where you're going with this.
If you've got understanding, you'll know there's a jet stream that connects North America with Europe. Commercial
Wait a minute, did he just give half a sphere there?
aircraft try to fly in the jet stream to conserve fuel. Do some diligent research and you'll find there's 4 jet streams.
That looks like a sphere to me that he has on his model there, but we'll continue.
2 in the north and 2 in the southern hemisphere.
Let's say that again. He said, let's see, 2 in the north and 2 in the southern hemisphere. But he's using the spherical model. Anyway.
So how did the guys who penned the Bible know about these 4 jet streams when they were only discovered in the 1920s? When
they were discovered in the 1920s by people who believe the globe, and they can map it out on the globe. Let me see his map and tell me how these things work on his flat map, and show me the areas and the places they go on his map.
When planes could finally fly high enough to discover them. So we have a dome-shaped...
Okay. Yeah, he mentioned lots of things like, again, deception. I think we touched on that. He mentioned in one place it says that he can see everything, and we look like grasshoppers. And he's like, well, See, it says that we appeared as grasshoppers. So obviously the universe can't be that big. And if he's like way out there, we'd just be little specks. Well, for one, I've been on planes before. When I look outside of a plane, I can't see even anybody, any people. I mean, if I could, there'll be specks already, but they definitely don't look the size of grasshoppers at that point. And anyway, so again, this whole grasshopper thing is basically like, look, guys, you are really, 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 really small. That's basically what he's trying to get at there. He's not really literally saying, touched on that enough. We'll go ahead and go to a little more science. But yeah, I'll touch on one more thing. So if you're debating anybody on this topic, well, again, this guy had 75 verses, and I showed you several extremely weak ones. If you have, like, say 100 good verses, or 100 good verses, if you did, on any topic, and you have, say, 500 weak ones, let the 500 weak ones go. Keep the strong argument. Keep the 100 strong verses, and don't even bring those 500 weak ones up. I one time was in a little debate with an atheist, and I saw that he was basically just cutting and pasting. He was like, "Oh, the Bible is full of errors, full of contradictions," and he was posting one after another, and this is the same tactic that flat earthers do. They just post after post after post, and try to overwhelm you with information where you just like put your hands up and give up. But I said to that atheist, I said, "Look, hold on, just give me your best 3." And I was doing this, one reason why I was doing this, and so maybe he would go into the Bible, and before he sent that weak one, he would think about it. It's like, what would he say about this? Maybe someone else already answered that. Let me see what the answer is, and then maybe he won't send it. Maybe he would go give me a better verse. But I forgot the 3 verses. I do remember one of them because it was so easy. And I'm like, come on, you should have thought before you sent this. But basically, it was that Jesus be preaching here in this gospel. He said he's preaching on a hill or a mountain. And over here, it says he's preaching on a plain. And I'm like, he sent that to me. Like, this is one of his best 3, top 3, that the Bible has contradictions. And I'm like, I've been to Israel. You can be on a plain, a flat spot, and on a mountain at the same time. Oh, I know the flat earth is going to just really get me for doing that. But okay, so let's go ahead and get into some more math. Let's go ahead and put that other picture on. And also that other picture that I sent you too. Just go ahead and stick that on the screen real quick. Okay, this is sort of simple here, this part. Let's say if I was 100 miles out and a weather balloon, or 100 miles up, and a weather balloon is 100 miles up also. Would I have to look down to see the weather balloon, or would I have to look up to see the weather balloon, or would I have to look straight out? That's easy, right? Straight. What if that weather balloon is 100 miles up and I'm, down at ground zero? At first, well, if he's right above my head, I have to look straight up. And the further it goes out, the eyesight to see it. I do have to angle my eyes. But would I ever have to see it below my eyes? Again, let's say you're on a mountain, and I can show it to you mathematically. But let's say if you're on a mountain, and the sun is going down, and when I'm saying using a flat Earth model, in a flat Earth model, again, the sun just is always 3,000 miles up, and it just goes out. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and put it on paper here, or the board. And before we go there, I'll give you the little bit of math. So again, the sun is always 3,000 miles high, or, well, that's one of their official models. It's 3,000 miles high. This is ground zero. If I'm over here, I'll have to look at a certain angle to see it. I'm going to show you how to calculate those angles in a second. Okay, but if I was in a weather balloon, and you see, if I increase this line, this is called the adjacent line. We'll just do a little a. This is called the opposite. We'll go O. If I increase A, this angle gets shorter. If A and O is the same, your carpenters might see this a lot. If this is say 10 meters and this was 10 meters, then this would be 45 degrees, right there, 45 degrees. But if you increase A, this angle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Now here's a question, and to see the flat earthers will say, well, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it appears to go below the horizon. But here's a question, how far does this have to go before this angle becomes negative? The answer is 0. The answer is that won't happen. You can get this infinity, and this angle will never flip to go down here. So if I was 3,000 miles up, like say on a balloon, right here, 3,000 miles, and this is the sun right here. Well, there's the sun right here. How far would the sun have to go to even go up or down, for me to look up or down? It doesn't matter. It can go, if I was 3,000 miles up, I would see that sun moving straight across. I would never be looking up to see the sun. That doesn't right is the sun. And of course, I would never be looking down the sun. So, because again, it's 3,000 miles up above you. If in the flat earth, if I was on a mountain and the sun was, setting, on a flat earth, I would never have to look below my eye line to see it. The angle will never be down here if the earth was flat. But we see the sun do that all the time. We see the sun all the time go below your eye level. And again, that will not happen on a flat earth map. We'll go to one more thing real quick. Okay, you got that. Well, again, we did this earlier. This is 25 inches. And the Earth is, or the flat Earth map is supposed to be 25,000 miles across. So therefore, it's supposed to be 1 inch per mile on this scale. And this is something you guys can do. If and I mentioned this earlier, if the sun is supposed to be 3,000 miles up, and I'll look straight up, and that means it's noon. You go further, like the 3,000 miles out, it should be at a 45-degree angle. So you could, at any time, you could just look, okay, where is it at noon? And there's, again, they're all over the place when it comes to where the sun is. They won't pin it down. I've seen some that have the sun around close to the equator, and then I've seen like 3 lines where they say, okay, well, it's down here in the south for a little bit, and then, you know, as when it's summer down there, and then it comes up here to the north, and we'll go ahead and put a ring about right there. I've seen the ring up to here, and they'll be like, their sun is right about there. Okay, then why, if everything's equal distance, which it's not because this is a 2-dimensional plane mapping from a sphere, but on their globe there should be no distortions, or on their model there should be no distortions. So we should have, if this is the sun right here, why is it lit down here? This is light right here. And let's see, we'll get the tape measure out. 6,000 miles away, but 6,000 miles away on the opposite direction, there is no light. That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, it doesn't work mathematically. We'll go ahead and go to one more real quick. And, well, yeah, we'll go ahead and go to one more. I have it right on here. Okay, we're going to do some basic math here. Okay, on one of their flat Earth maps, I see the sun at about right here. There's the sun. Again, it's supposed to be 3,000 miles out. And in their model, their radius, or their radius is 12,500 miles, and their diameter is 25,000. Now, by looking at the position of the sun at that current location, it's about 6,000 miles from the center. We can go ahead and measure it. Yep, about 6,000 miles from center. Their model has the sun at, again, only 3,000 to 3,500 miles up. So doing some basic math, at high noon, someone from New Zealand at high noon can look due north at about 45 degrees above the horizon and see the sun. But yeah, 45 degrees above the horizon to see the sun at noon. while at the same time, someone from Alaska, right there, would have to look due south, roughly 35 degrees above the horizon, and see the other side. And again, the flat Earth map just won't work. And I'm going to just let you take this home or this part home. Here's how you can tell the angle. Again, this is supposed to be 3,000 miles. Find the distance right here. And you do 3,000 over the distance, the d, times inverse tangent. And that would give you the angle here. I'll say just go home and play with the numbers, and you'll see it won't work. Hardly ever it works. And at the very worst, again, this distance will never be infinite. At max, this distance will only be 25,000 miles on their flat Earth. So you will never, no matter how big this distance is, you'll never be able to look below the horizon or below level on their map and see the sun. I'll let you take things home real quick. It's pretty interesting. Tests you can do. One test that I saw was someone, again, the filter because of light distortion. That filter on your camera, and he put it like a little grid on that. In that micrometer the whole time, but he used a grid, and then, but don't forget your filter. And also, it's really good experiment. But he sees the traveling past, and that whole time, that sun, because he had the same length on the camera and the grid. He had the same length, so the sun stayed perfectly the same size the whole time. That should not happen. If someone from the back of the room comes up to me, and I had a little micrometer, I'm like squeezing his head, that micrometer it might start like way back there, about like this. And as he slowly comes up and comes up and comes up, I'm going to have to slowly open that micrometer till he's until it won't go any further. But try that with the sun. Don't forget to use the filter. It will not work. It has the same size the whole time, and you can see experiments like that. One experiment that I thought of too when I was talking to my friend, we're about to go to the beach, and I'm like, hey, we got a decent sized hotel here. Someone can get on the top of the hotel room, and either for some, we could be watching it the whole time, see if they come at the same exact time, and we'll have everything synchronized. And but anyway, I thought about that, but someone else ended up doing a better video, because, well, I'm a little old school. It just didn't dawn on me to use this drone. But what he did, and you can look this up online, and brought. How can that work on a flat Earth? It won't. And one more thing. Now, this was hard, but it looks fun. I honestly haven't done it. It probably could be done in some place like this, but and you can just look it up. It's pendulum. And one thing that's interesting about it, basically, I'm not sure if y'all have ever been to one of those museums that has that pendulum that swings for a long time, and it keeps moving, changing direction. You can actually calculate your latitude on Earth by using that. And there's a video on my Facebook page, Debunking Flat Earth Arguments. You can go there and see the video of someone actually using that to calculate his latitude. Show me how you can do that on a flat Earth. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Suppose I told you I want you to peel the paper off of here and make me a flat map. How would you do it? It can't be done, can it? Can you peel an orange and make it lay flat? What would a peeled orange look like? They don't get it, brother. I don't know how to help them.
Yeah.
That's why I just encourage people, ignore them, go on, serve God. It's a distraction from the real gospel truth. Okay? Don't waste a lot of time on it. Go serve God. Okay, we have not quite finished the tour. If you're going with me on the tour, Sergio, I'll get in the Jeep, you get in the Honda. Let's finish the tour. We've got swim time after that, and the free time, it's 5 o'clock supper. And then
Donnie's video is about the scientific evidence gravity.
Oh, it's at 2 o'clock? Or 3?
2 o'clock, so people don't know.
There's going to be a video premiering online. You can watch it in here if you want and stay in the air conditioning at 2 o'clock. The rest of you hop in the Jeep. Let's go.